Hey everyone, it's Marilyn. Welcome back to KK's Quilt Studio. I have noticed a lot of questions on the many Facebook groups that I belong to, or message boards, be they quilting, embroidery, or electronic cutting machines. Everybody's got a question about text. They want to incorporate text into the project that they are designing and using. Maybe they're using design software text, but they want to know all about text, how to bring in more text, how to find more text, or I saw a picture of text and what kind of text is that? So there's several questions that I see. I use Art and Stitch for quilting and embroidery software, and one of the questions was, if you create something, how do you tell later, if you closed out, saved the file, and opened back up your work, how do you remember which font that you used? Well, we're going to address that. We're going to talk about the differences between fonts that are installed in your program and the fonts that you bring in from your computer. So we look in our design software, our digitizing software, and it's going to be similar no matter what digitizing software you use. There are fonts that are auto-digitized, and this, if you have Art and Stitch with the plus feature, you have this embroidery or plus toolbar, and this tool, the text and lettering tool, is for fonts that are already digitized versus the the TrueType font artwork tool that's found at the bottom of the base Art and Stitch software. This is, of course, only these letters, when they're imported, they are TrueType fonts, but they are not fonts that have been digitized. They are only artwork. You can see on the properties bar, and I click on this one, it has stitches applied and is ready to sew out. Whereas these letters need to have stitches applied. They did come from my computer and they are ready to digitize from the artwork. The basic differences between these texts is that this text has been designed specifically for Art and Stitch. So the name, if we click under properties, is called Abby Satin. It's probably not going to be a normal font that we can locate somewhere on the internet. Whereas this one, which is Bee's Knees, is a font that is used in many programs. It's a TrueType font, and probably we can locate that. So know that fonts that are specifically designed for your software may not be entitled the same, or may even be available out there on the internet. So what to do if we were trying to recall one of these TrueType fonts that you cannot just click on, go to properties, and get a preview of what they are. Because if we selected this one, it's artwork, it doesn't tell us. So how do we refer back to that? Well, someone suggested in the group that we go back and stick something under the copyright notes or other notes. I like to use the notes tool, and if you click anywhere on your workspace, you can type in here that this was Bee's Knees text, the artwork that you used, so that you can come back and refer to it. So let me type in Bee's Knees. So that I can go back to that TrueType font if I need to add any more. And then I can just select that. This isn't going to digitize, it's just going to be an unseen little note. You can go ahead and digitize these for quilting or for embroidery, and just know that that little note will just be out there as a working note for you. I use this tool a lot to work on my step outs as I work on a class or to design something, I use that little note box for a tool to show the steps that I included. It's just going to be there for your reference, just know that. If we go to a program like the Canvas Workspace, I'm on the online version of Canvas Workspace, and these are the fonts that are available in the Canvas Workspace. They may or may not be out there, and this one's not up there. It's giving me a name. It's Salamanca, and this one is Cordoba. I may or may not find another font out on the internet that has the same name, because these fonts were created for my software, for the Canvas Workspace, for my brother Scan and Cut. So I use a program called What the Font. I'll provide a link for you down below. What you do is upload an image, and I've uploaded that embroidery design from Art and Stitch. It took a JPEG or a PNG image of it and brought it into the program to see what fonts it could match up. And it's going to locate the closest font. It looks like this one is the closest, but it's called Abby. It also gives me a location to where to go to find or purchase that font. If I were to reset and go back to the beginning and grab a picture of that artwork, go ahead and open that up, and it will crop out a portion to search for. That looks fine. And let's see what it came up with. It came up with Bee's Knees. So when you have TrueType fonts, it's going to be able to find pretty close, or the actual font that artwork came from. But things specifically designed for programs like Art and Stitch or Canvas software or any other embroidery software, it may not find as a TrueType font. So just be aware of that. Now, where do you go to get more fonts? I use DaFont lots of times, and I've talked about this in other videos. Here you can find lots of fonts. Just be aware that when you go to use fonts, take a look over here, see if it's free for personal use. If you're using this for any kind of commercial use, there will be something specific, or you must buy it from a font company or from the author of the font, the author who created it. So some fonts are copyrighted, so just be aware of that whenever you are using any type of font. So in summation, we've talked about the different types of fonts that are specific to your software, and you may or may not be able to locate them, or fonts that come from your computer from TrueType Fonts and other places. If you have any other questions, I'm always happy to help. You can join any one of my Facebook groups. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and check out my website where I offer other classes, or drop me a line at kksews@kksquiltstudio.com. I have a recorded video class called Texting with Art and Stitch Plus available on my website if you'd like to learn more about working with fonts. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you've learned a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up down there. And until we meet next time, I wish you happy sewing.